At Jurassic World, our mission has always been to push the boundaries of discovery, and few species embody that vision better than Lokiceratops. First unearthed in 2019 in the windswept badlands of northern Montana, this newly recognized centrosaurine represents one of the most spectacular horned dinosaurs ever identified. Living approximately 78 million years ago, Lokiceratops stretched nearly 20 feet in length, commanding the ancient floodplains of the late Cretaceous. Named after Loki, the Norse trickster god, Lokiceratops earned this title for a good reason. Its towering frill, crowned with two massive blade-like horns, forms a silhouette reminiscent of mythic ceremonial armor. And unlike the genetically modified hybrids we've engineered in the past, Lokiceratops needs no enhancements to appear otherworldly. Guests often request dinosaurs that look fantastical or dragon-esque, and this species fulfills that fascination naturally. Because Lokiceratops is one of paleontology's most recent discoveries, formally described in 2024, we are proud to introduce it as a brand new addition to science and to our park. As stewards of living prehistory, we see it as our responsibility and privilege to bring the latest scientific breakthroughs directly to our guests. Its dramatic hornwork and crown-like frill make Lokiceratops an instant icon across Jurassic World. Early guest evaluations already rank it among the most visually striking animals in our entire collection. Our merchandising and educational teams have embraced it fully, citing its unmistakable silhouette and myth-inspired identity as key touchpoints for future outreach and branding. In this exclusive feature, we'll explore Lokiceratops' paleontological profile, uncover the science behind its discovery and behavior, trace its role within the Jurassic Park franchise, and finally reveal how our team has reimagined its world as a living exhibit for guests to experience. Whether you're a potential visitor or a park manager seeking inspiration to improve your own Lokiceratops enclosure, we hope this video will inspire you to witness these magnificent animals for yourself at one of our Jurassic World destinations. To properly showcase this remarkable creature, we have developed the Lokiceratops Wildland Safari, an immersive expedition through a meticulously reconstructed Cretaceous ecosystem. Guests board our all-terrain safari transports and travel through misted riverbeds, shaded woodland corridors, and sweeping floodplains where herds of Lokiceratops display natural social behaviors. With guidance from our field expert staff and cinematic habitat design team, this encounter stands as one of our most ambitious experiences we have ever created. Lokiceratops represents a perfect blend of scientific innovation, guest excitement, and Jurassic World's core promise to bring the impossible to life. With its origin established, let us now turn our focus to the animal itself, its appearance, anatomy, and the distinctive features that set Lokiceratops apart from all other ceratopsians. Lokiceratops belongs to the ceratopsid family, specifically the centrosaurines, dinosaurs known for their ornate frills, prominent nasal horns, and striking facial ornamentation. Living approximately 78 million years ago during the Campanian stage of the late Cretaceous, this animal represents one of the most visually spectacular members of its lineage. Its name reflects its uniqueness. Lokiceratops merges a reference to Loki, the Norse god often depicted with curved, elaborate blades, with the Greek keris, horn, and ops, face. Even the species name, Rangiformis, pays homage to the caribou genus Rangifer, whose naturally asymmetrical antlers mirrors the uneven dramatic frill spikes found on this dinosaur. The full scientific name, Loki's horn face that looks like a caribou, stands as recognition of both its distinctive anatomy and the collaboration between American and Danish researchers who studied it. In life, Lokiceratops was enormous. The skull alone stretches roughly 3 feet at its base and over 6.5 feet in total length. Measured from snout to tail, the holotype animal likely reached around 22 feet long and weighed close to 5 tons, making it the largest centrosaurine of its time. Its anatomy sets it apart even from its closest relatives. Most centrosaurines carry a prominent nose horn, but Lokiceratops breaks that tradition entirely, lacking one altogether. Instead, its frill explodes with extravagant ornamentation. Enormous, sweeping blade-like horns at the rear of the frill, including the largest such spike ever found in the centrosaurine. A distinctive asymmetric spike at the frill center further enhances its mythic profile. Compared to the contemporary Medusaceratops, Lokiceratops is roughly 20% larger, an evolutionary giant among already impressive herbivores. Its frills and horns were far more than simple defensive structures. Evidence from centrosaurin growth shows that these features developed gradually and were not fully expressed until adulthood, implying a strong social or sexual display function. Much like modern herd animals with age-based dominance hierarchies, young males may have reached physical maturity long before they were socially prepared, or visually equipped to compete for mates. Adults displayed wide variation in ornamentation, reinforcing theories that these horns served as communication tools, recognition markers, or signals of fitness within the herd. Despite its intimidating appearance, Lokiceratops was not built for keen sensory detection. Studies of related centrosaurines indicate reduced olfactory bulbs and shortened cochlear ducts, suggesting limited smell and hearing compared to other dinosaur groups. Inner ear structures point towards stability rather than agility, indicating an animal designed for steady grazing in coordinated herds, rather than rapid maneuvering or complex environmental interpretation. Its behavioral strengths were rooted in sociality, display interactions, collective movement, and group defense. As a herbivore, Lokiceratops was a selective browser. Its narrow, powerful beak and robust jaw musculature allowed it to process tough, fibrous vegetation, woody shrubs, low-lying plants, and coarse material that other herbivores may have avoided. This dietary specialization likely played a key role in allowing multiple large herbivore species to coexist within the same ecosystem. Different skull and jaw structures meant each species had subtly different feeding strategies, reducing competition and allowing diverse dinosaur communities to thrive side by side. Behaviorally, Lokiceratops probably lived in sizable herds, a pattern supported by extensive centrosaurin bone beds found across North America. These mass death deposits, containing individuals of all ages, show that large groups perished together in sudden natural catastrophes, flash floods, storm surges, or drought-driven collapses. The uniform preservation of these sites and the absence of scavenger marks indicate rapid, overwhelming events rather than slow accumulation. Herding behavior would have been essential: protection in numbers, social learning, and coordinated movement across the dynamic floodplains of late Cretaceous Laramida. Taken together, Lokiceratops emerges as an animal of immense size, elaborate ornamentation, and intricate social structure, built not only to survive, but to communicate, display, and thrive within its herd. With these physical and behavioral traits established, we can now turn to the story of how Lokiceratops was discovered, its scientific journey from the Montana Badlands to its formal place in paleontological history. The story of Lokiceratops begins in 2019, when fossil hunter Mark Eatman uncovered the first species of what would become one of the most striking horned dinosaurs ever identified. The specimen, cataloged as EMK0012, was unearthed in the rugged badlands of northern Montana within the Loki quarry of the Judith River Formation. Located near the Milk River and the town of Rudyard, only a short distance from the Canadian border, this site has long been known for yielding beautifully preserved late Cretaceous fossils. The remains of Lokiceratops were discovered fragmented and slightly compressed by millions of years of geologic pressure. Despite this, investigators quickly realized these species belonged to a single individual. The holotype includes crucial skull elements along with portions of the neck, back, and tail vertebrae, a few shoulder girdle, and both sides of the pelvis, enough material to reconstruct the animal's distinctive anatomy with confidence. Once collected, the specimen was sent to Fossologic, a specialized fossil preparation facility. Throughout 2021, technicians meticulously cleaned, stabilized, and molded each bone, creating research-grade casts and enabling a highly accurate skull reconstruction. Missing elements were digitally mirrored or inferred from close relatives, allowing paleontologists to visualize the full grandeur of Lokiceratops' uniquely ornate frill. Cast replicas of the skull were placed on exhibition at both the Natural History Museum of Utah and the Royal Ontario Museum, ensuring broad scientific access. The original holotype, however, was permanently reposited at the Museum of Evolution in the Nuthenborg Safari Park in Denmark, an institution that announced in 2022 that the skeleton represented a new species of ceratopsian. Nicknamed Frederick, this specimen became one of the first distinct dinosaur species ever publicly displayed in Denmark. The official scientific description arrived in 2024 when an international research team led by Mark Lowen and Joseph Sertich published their findings in PHA. Their phylogenetic analysis revealed that Lokiceratops belonged within the ceratopsian subgroup Centrosaurinae, and shared a close evolutionary relationship with Albertoceratops and Medusaceratops. Together, these species formed a newly proposed clade named Albertoceratopsini. Still, not all paleontologists agree with the designation of a new species. Some, including Denver Fowler, argue that the elaborate frill structures might represent the traits of an older, fully mature Medusaceratops rather than an entirely new separate taxon. Others, such as Jordan Mallon, question whether multiple large herbivores with nearly identical feeding adaptations could coexist without significant ecological overlap, suggesting frill variation may represent individual or developmental differences instead of discrete species. Concerns were also raised about field methods, including the use of foil rather than the full plaster jackets during collection, which may have contributed to breakage and data loss. Despite these debates, Lokiceratops has already reshaped discussions of centrosaurinate diversity. As researchers remark, this dinosaur's headgear includes the largest frill horn ornaments ever documented in a horned dinosaur, a dramatic reminder that sexual display and species recognition likely played major roles in late Cretaceous evolution. Today, the holotype skull reconstruction stands proudly in Denmark's Museum of Evolution, where it resides among other scientifically important dinosaur specimens, offering researchers and the public an unprecedented look at one of the most spectacular ceratopsians ever found. With its discovery, reconstruction, and ongoing scientific debate established, we now look beyond the fossil and into the world Lokiceratops once inhabited, examining the paleoecology that shaped this remarkable dinosaur and the ecosystem it called home. More than 78 million years ago, the world of Lokiceratops lay along the humid eastern shore of Laramida, the long narrow island continent that once made up the western half of North America. Here, the air was thick with warmth and moisture, and the land shifted constantly under the influence of rising mountains, wandering rivers, and the encroaching western interior seaway. This was a lush, unstable frontier, an environment where life flourished in every direction. The landscape preserve at the Loki Quarry offers one of the clearest windows into this world. The fine layers of sandstone, siltstone, and mudstone reveal a poorly drained river system, the kind shaped by slow-moving water and periodic flooding. Embedded throughout these sediments are gar scales, mollusk shells, carbonized plant fragments, and beads of amber, each one a remnant of a thriving wetland ecosystem. Forests of conifers, ferns, and early flowering plants crowded the river margins, while wide stretches of upland floodplains created pockets of sunlight and space, exactly the kind of terrain suitable for a mid-sized horned herbivore. In this environment, Lokiceratops would have navigated a patchwork of solid ground, much rich flats, and waterlogged swamps. Seasonal floods likely reshaped its world on a regular basis, forcing herds to move between higher, drier ridges and the greener, wetter basins below. Low-growing ferns, shrubs, and moisture-loving angiosperms would have provided an abundant and varied food supply for a dinosaur equipped with powerful jaws and a broad muscular frame. Its heavy skull and wide body hint not only at display function, but at an animal well adapted to grazing across expansive wetlands rather than weaving through dense forest. But Lokiceratops did not live alone on this dynamic landscape. The Judith River Formation hosted a remarkable diversity of dinosaurs, so many, in fact, that the region is considered one of the most crowded herbivore communities in the entire Cretaceous. Other horned dinosaurs, including Medusaceratops, Albertoceratops, Wendyceratops, Evaceratops, and Judithceratops, roam the same territory, each contributing to a mosaic of ceratopsian diversity unmatched elsewhere. Herds of hadrosaurs such as Brachylophosaurus, Griposaurus, and Procerolophus browse the higher shrubs, while armored giants like Edmontonia and Panoplosaurus patrol the thickets like low-slung living fortresses. Predators, too, were never far away. The wetlands of Laramida supported fearsome tyrannosaurids such as Daspletosaurus and Gorgosaurus, while agile hunters like Ceratopsians and Stenonychosaurus moved swiftly between river channels and open clearings. In such a bustling and competitive ecosystem, Lokiceratops' extravagant frill ornaments may have been essential, not only for display, but for distinguishing individuals and species within an environment packed with look-alike herbivores. Amid this richness of life, Lokiceratops stood out as one of the most visually striking inhabitants of the swampy floodplain, a creature as adapted to its surrounding as it was shaped by them. With the ancient world of Lokiceratops understood, we now turn towards how this remarkable ceratopsian steps into the modern age. Reimagine for guests on our Lokiceratops Safari Showcase, where its prehistoric wetlands come alive once again. Welcome to the Lokiceratops Highland Safari, one of the signature attractions of Jurassic World Kyoto, our newest park expansion in Japan. Designed and inspired by the great wildlife reserves of our world, the safari draws direct inspiration from the iconic Kilimanjaro safaris at Disney's Animal Kingdom, yet elevates the concept into truly prehistoric territory. Guests board an open-air expedition vehicle and journey deep into a living recreation of the late Cretaceous highlands, where herds of Lokiceratops roam freely across 110 acres of open plains, rocky hillsides, and forested wetlands. Throughout your expedition, you may spot these magnificent ceratopsians sunbathing atop stone outcrops, wading in cool ponds, or grazing peacefully on carefully curated paleobotanical vegetation. No two safaris are ever alike. Our animals have complete autonomy within their habitat, so every outing offers a unique and unforgettable glimpse into their world. Cameras are highly encouraged. A Lokiceratops strolling across your path is not a traffic delay, it's a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Behind every landscape feature lies careful intention. Forested hideaway, shaded alcoves, and rock outcroppings give the animals freedom to withdraw from public view whenever they wish. These zones also serve as discrete access points for ranger and vet teams, ensuring that animal care remains seamless and unobtrusive. At day's ends, individuals are invited, never forced, to return to their night enclosures. To encourage natural movement patterns and close guest encounters, our team strategically place feeding stations, enrichment objects, and freshwater access near the vehicle routes. Although it may seem like pure luck when a Lokiceratops wanders beside the truck, the truth is that thoughtful habitat design plays a subtle role in creating these magical moments. At its core, the exhibit prioritizes complexity over sheer size. A dynamic environment offering sun and shade, high ground and low ground, wet soil and dry sand, allows Lokiceratops to express natural behaviors while maintaining psychological comfort. This philosophy applies to adults and juveniles alike, ensuring that each animal thrives through choice, safety, and enrichment. From the guest perspective, it should feel as though nothing separates you from the dinosaurs themselves. Our design teams minimize visible fencing and instead relied on naturalistic barriers, foliage lines, and rock formations to define habitat boundaries. This creates the impression of true wilderness, hiding the sense of independence and nobility embodied by Lokiceratops. Working closely with our Paleobotanical division, we sculpted a flora palette reflective of the Cretaceous world. Temskia ferns, cycads, conifers, and early angiosperms, complemented by modern analogs such as baobab trees to capture the dramatic silhouettes of prehistoric landscapes. Multiple substrates, sand, soil, straw, grass, were incorporated to support nesting, digging, dust bathing, and burrow-like behaviors. Dedicated cave structures and nesting zones offer secure places for mothers to rear their young, away from both guests and other herd members. For those seeking a calmer perspective, an elevated viewing gallery with reinforced acrylic offers panoramic vistas of the herd. From here, visitors can observe Lokiceratops interacting at a more leisurely pace, whether resting, browsing, or socializing. Families with young children may also visit the Janto Giants Petting Zoo, where juvenile Lokiceratops participate in supervised socialization sessions with guests. These early interactions help reinforce positive conditioning while fostering public appreciation for the species. All of this is part of our commitment to building a captive environment that balances safety with authenticity. Captivity carries inherent limitations, but through meticulous habitat design and proactive husbandry, we strive to create a space where these animals can thrive physically, mentally, and behaviorally. And of course, we invite you to visit our newest expansion in Kyoto, Japan, where the Lokiceratops Highland Safari stands proudly at the heart of the park. Now that we've explored how Jurassic World brings Lokiceratops to life within our Kyoto Safari, let's shift focus to its presence within the Jurassic Park franchise itself, from its earliest conceptual origins to its modern digital interpretations. Despite being scientifically described only in 2024, Lokiceratops has already found a place within the broader Jurassic World experience through its appearance in Jurassic World Evolution 3. In this next-generation park management simulation, players can bring Lokiceratops to life under their own supervision, observing its behavior, managing herds, and showcasing its dramatic frill blades to guests across their digital parks. The game's interpretation highlights what makes the species so distinct: its imposing skull ornamentation, wide body stance, and display-driven behavior. Through Evolution 3, audiences worldwide are introduced to a ceratopsian that blends scientific accuracy with the cinematic style the franchise is known for. While Lokiceratops has yet to appear in the films or animated series, its presence in the game represents its first official step into Jurassic canon. For now, Evolution 3 stands as a primary gateway for fans to experience this remarkable dinosaur within the Jurassic World universe. But as interest grows, Lokiceratops may one day transition from virtual paddocks to future installments across the franchise. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.